too in your own head about something. You can't move, you can't think properly, you can't live life. Today, class, I'm going to be talking to you guys about anxiety. And the three things I'm going to be discussing that consist of anxiety are the background, basically what it is, leading into the side effects of anxiety, and how music and video games can help aid with anxiety. For me personally, I'm going to give you guys an introduction before I dive into this. When I was, I used to have more, I would say, poor anxiety, high levels of anxiety when I was in high school. Now I'm a junior in college, but I'd say my sophomore year, junior year especially, I had bad anxiety getting up and speaking in front of people, getting up and doing projects, presenting in front of the class, deadlines. I would just get stressed about everything. And to start off with the background of anxiety, according to the Mayo Clinic, anxiety is a mental health disorder characterized by feelings of worry, anxiety, or fear that are strong enough to interfere with one's daily activities. That's the official definition. Now, to go back to what I was saying about my personal experience, I was also depressed at one point as well, my junior, senior year of high school. And anxiety and depression kind of feed into each other, but I believe depression is also something to deal with anxiety because you're sad, you're worried what others think, etc. So people can get anxiety from traumatic experiences, things they've dealt with in their life, or just, new coming things that may stress one out. And I think everybody has it. I strongly believe it to a certain extent, whether it be a level 1 or level 10, you still got it at level 1, you understand? So some of the side effects of anxiety or some things that you may experience, symptoms for lack of a better word, are hypertensive stress, fear of going out in social settings, reducing self-confidence, pit in the stomach and shaking from nervousness. You may have panicking stemming from overthinking, and you may be unable to focus or concentrate on things that you have at hand. So let's say you have a school assignment. You're too stressed out to do it. Your friends ask you, hey, do you want to go hang out? Do you want to go grab a bite to eat? You think about it, like, I don't get enough time in my day. If you got work at 8 p.m., you could have the whole day to do whatever you want, and you're so stressed out you'd be late to work. You don't make plans. You just sit home all day and do nothing. Those are a few examples of side effects, symptoms that people may experience. They may also hold it against other people, and it may affect others that surround them. It may put you in a negative mood, and you may be saying things out of angst or stress that may get to the other person. But for me personally, and the reason why I wanted to talk about music and video games is because I've been reading up on it a little bit recently, and from personal experience, when I was going through my anxiety, and I do have it sometimes, making music, listening to music, and playing video games all help aid, the relief of it, the release. So I did my research, and it turns out music triggers dopamine, which is the reward center of the brain. It's what makes you feel good when you do something right, you accomplish something. Video games do the same thing. Helps calm the nervous system and can reduce cortisol levels, because when you have excess cortisol, leads to you becoming more stressed, according to the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. Music also distracts one from their stressors and helps one not feel alone. So if someone's, let's say, Juice WRLD, or you're listening to country, or just anything that kind of fits what you're going through, it helps you feel like you're not the only one dealing with it. It also takes your brain off the negativity and can bring positivity to a poor situation. According to WebMD, video games also distract anxiety patients from physical and psychological pain. And it's kind of a simple concept when you really think of it. If you pinch, your leg and you have pain in your arm, the pain in your arm is going to be less. So if you direct your brain to something else, the current pain you're experiencing or exhibiting is going to be different, and it's going to be less when your mind goes to something else. Video games can also help one feel a sense of accomplishment when they crave that in their actual lives, and it can bring morale and attitude up, make it positive, and it can also motivate one to apply their efforts to real life, because once someone experiences an accomplishment or something feel good in a game or in a virtual reality, it's going to make them feel better about themselves, make them think, oh, I can do this, so it's going to relate and play over. Video games can also show one with anxiety that even if you don't succeed the first time, you can try again and succeed the second time. There's something called a reset in a video game, or respawn, or retry. And, if you don't get it the first time, it's the same thing in life. You don't get your life back, so you got to be careful with that. But if you, screw up once, you always have an opportunity to correct that wrong. And oftentimes with anxiety, some people they can't fathom that, and it's not their fault. It's honestly, they call it a mental disorder for a reason. And video games can also help athletes still play the game they love if it's stopped due to injury or other circumstances that prevented them from, playing their pastime. But anyways, overall, I talked to you guys about 3 things today. I talked to you about the background of anxiety and kind of what it is, and giving the background was kind of my personal experience, the side effects and symptoms one may experience, and how music and video games can aid in anxiety. I really think that if people open their eyes more to making music, or even just screwing with a beat pad or something along those lines, or picking up a controller and application on their phone, I think that it could help anxiety go a long way in positivity. So hope everyone's well, guys. Hope you enjoy my speech. Thank you.